What's up, dudes? Finishing this Dark Soul walkthrough. Dark Souls. And no, we're not finishing, actually. I'm just kidding. We are moving on to the Catacombs. Just beat the Four Kings. He's the worst, as John Ralphio would say from Parks and Recs. You guys should watch that show. It's awesome. So, once you beat the Four Kings, you are down where the last area will be, but you have to collect the Lord Souls. So you have to beat Gravelord Nito. I can't remember all their names. The Scaleless or Ceithless, something like that. And two more. First, we're gonna head towards Gravelord Nito. Now, there's an area before you actually get to him, and that's the Catacombs. And to get there, you teleport from the Firelink Shrine first. I mean, not from the Firelink Shrine, but after you beat the Four Kings, and you're down in the Abyss. And let me just tell you something about when you're down there at the Abyss. There's two different of the snake guys. There's Framped, and I can't remember the other one's name. But the one up top by the Firelink Shrine is different from the one that you see down in the Abyss. I know they look exactly the same, but they're not. And if you talk to the guy down in the Abyss, you actually have the option of joining a covenant. So make sure you talk to him before you teleport out of there, because yeah, you'll get an achievement for that. Otherwise, I think you can miss it if you don't do it right then. So make sure you do that. So anyways, once you come up here, you just got to head towards the graveyard. You may have went this way the first time you played and made that mistake. You're like, damn, these skeletons are hard. Well, you weren't supposed to go there yet, so don't worry about it. So, there's a couple things up here. There's just a couple souls, and I believe like the telescope. The telescope is or I don't know if it's a telescope. I don't know, some sort of lens of something. But it's really not worth anything. It's just so you can see a little further. And you could have started with it if you wanted. Most people don't, because it's useless. But I'll show you where it's at anyways. So there's just a handful of skeletons in here. They're really not that difficult once you've waited to go to this point. As I said earlier, if you came here at the beginning, they are next to impossible because they kill you in 1 or 2 hits, and it probably takes you like 20 to kill them. So there's a sword in here. I've never used this sword. The Ziwander. I wouldn't recommend it. I like my magic falchion. Falchion? I don't know. I always don't know what to say there. Because I like how fast it swings. The only drawback I feel like is that it doesn't have a kick. You have to do the slice forward and then he does a backflip. I like having that kick, but it's a small price to pay for a very fast attack. See right here, I already have the item. It won't even let me pick it up. Someone told me in another video that the reason I couldn't pick it up is because I have it equipped, but I don't think that is the case with the telescope. Maybe you can only have one, which is weird because you can have multiples of everything else. I don't know. But anyways, starting to head down into the catacombs. Now this is the entrance right here down this staircase. There's some of these exploding skulls down here. So if you're standing on the edge, they have a really big explosion radius. So try to run away from those because they can blow you off the edge pretty easily. But the good thing about it is they can also knock their friendlies off. See, there you go. You see it pushing me. So if you are going to stand on the stairwell over here, try to just push yourself up against the wall so you don't go flying off the edge. These skeletons you're not going to be able to kill. I mean, you can actually kill them for a second, but you see how I got no souls from killing him? They're going to reanimate, and the only way to actually kill these things is you have to kill these, I guess they're kind of like fire keepers for, you know, the bonfires, but I don't know, they're bad. So you gotta find these guys that shoot out little fireballs and they're carrying around lanterns. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep killing these guys and they're gonna keep getting up and more are gonna get around you. So yeah, you see, that's not good. But right in here is the first bonfire. Now, before anything, you might want to kill him, but you might also want to rest, because you can rest right here and everything's just going to disappear. I just went ahead and killed him first, and now you can see the skeletons will actually die. But you can't rest at the bonfire when these guys are like attacking you, so actually I don't even know if you can rest the bonfire when the firekeeper's here. You may have to kill him first. Well, anyways, so you kill him, rest your bonfire, and the switch is right there next to the bonfire. Just go ahead and push that in. And now you have the door open out here on the left. So you can go through here now and you're not stuck in these dark, terrible catacombs. Now, this area, I want to tell you, you need to use up all your souls. Make sure you are level up, because you're going to die a lot. Because what the goal here is to run past these skeletons, because you can't kill them. You have to get to the firekeepers first. And there are dozens of these skeletons. Right here in the first spot, it's not so bad. There's only 2. But it quickly adds up. Oh, there's actually 3. Well, either way, you see my point. 2, 3, doesn't really matter, because they just keep getting up, and you can't kill them quick enough to make it worthwhile to actually stay there and try to fight them, because you kill one, then you start working on another one, that one starts getting up. So just run to the firekeepers, just get those guys, and they're going to run from you, unfortunately, so you're going to have tons of skeletons chasing you. So you might as well just expect a death for every time you run into these guys, because you got to get the firekeeper, and all the skeletons are just going to pin you somewhere. But after you do kill the firekeeper, you can actually start fighting these things. But as I said, there's just so many that, I mean, there's just not a whole lot you can do. They pin you in a corner and you just can't block anymore. So spend all your souls. Now I'm on New Game Plus Plus. So 18,000 souls is really not much. It takes like 130,000 souls to level up. So it's not a big loss. You know, if you're playing your first playthrough and you just lost like, 2 or 3,000 souls, which is probably the equivalent here, then it's no big deal. So, once you get back to this area, you just gotta find your way out of the catacombs. And after a couple deaths and running through here, you'll figure that out quickly. So just find the quickest route and sprint past them. Not worth your time. Just remember that. These skeletons are not worth your time, because they will pin you and murder you. You don't want to be murdered. Murder is not a good time unless you're the one doing it to the skeletons. Look at this. I'm getting pinned. Trying to find the way out. It's looking bleak. And you're probably wondering why they're hitting me and I'm not moving. Well, that's because the armor I'm wearing is super amazing. It's the black iron armor, and at this point, if you've been following the guide I've had, this walkthrough, then you've already picked it up, because the black iron armor, I believe, was by the Painted World, so you recently picked it up. But there's the next switch, and here's the soul. Proud Knight. So just kind of think of picking up these items as you're leveling up through this area, because you're probably not going to level up otherwise. Just try to run. See, I kill those guys. No souls. So the firekeeper responsible for those skeletons is still alive. So that opens up this bridge, which just had spikes on it. Oh yeah, watch out for those statues. They spit out some nasty spikes. If you don't have a high poise on your armor like I do, then they're gonna knock you back, and probably more skeletons are chasing you. So there's that to deal with. But here's the next firekeeper. He's just waiting right here. And now all these skeletons can die. And I accidentally rolled all the way down here. But this is where you need to go next anyways. Down this hole, there's actually another blacksmith. If you like fire weapons, then this is the blacksmith that you're going to want to talk to. Because he is the one that can maximize your fire weapons. It's also an achievement to max out one weapon with fire, or fire reinforcement. But I'm about to die here because there's just too many skeletons and they've got me pinned on both sides. There's just not much I can do. And you try to heal and they just take away everything you healed. This is why you have to run through the area, because all of these skeletons will just pin you if you try to like explore and look around. So this is actually probably one of the most helpful guides I can make, because I can show you where everything is at, so you're not under duress while you're trying to explore. See, I'm busy wasting my time trying to kill these things, and it's just useless. I'm gonna inevitably die. But you guys will get to see where all the good stuff is at first. It just seems to be a never-ending supply, even when you can kill them. See, like there's what, 4, 5 right now? It just doesn't seem to end. And here's the next firekeeper. Just at all costs want to kill him. And you just hope that he died down there. So you get back here, you know, I'm going to skip all the running back because that part is just frustrating to all hell. So I will just skip ahead every time I die to get back to where I am. Just try not to get too frustrated. Remember, you're not losing many souls. So to get down to the blacksmith, you have to drop down this hole and, you know, follow the soul of lights. So now you got to look for the next platform. You saw it was over there, but it's okay, you can still fall down here. Just make sure you have a good amount of health whenever you're dropping down here. Or I believe there's a ring that reduces your falling damage, but maybe that's demon souls. Can't remember. Yeah, I think that actually is demon souls, so forget about that. That isn't real. So here's the blacksmith. He's pretty much undead. He's a giant skeleton. I'll show you all the things he can do. As I said, he can modify fire weapons. And if you bring him the right ember, I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's called the Chaos Ember. I don't know. But it's fire related. And he sells some Titanite shards. And I got a little confused when I was trying to run out of here. Oh, he also sells Homeward Bone. Which is cool if you wanted to just go back to the bonfire and reset after you you worked on your weapon. So see, I was a fool. I was like, I'm stuck in here. What is this? Maybe I have to use Homeward Bone. But no. There's an exit right here? No. I'm even confused watching. It's one of these doorways. There it is. I don't know. It's like an illusion almost. So this is the bottom, and from here you could go ahead and go to the boss of the area. These pinwheels are awful. There's, I think, like 5 or 6 down here. But of course, I have to show you where everything else is before we can go to the boss. And we didn't even hit one of the switches, so that's kind of a shortcut. And if you want to get back to that area, well, actually not back to that area, but this is another kind of shortcut. There's a crystal lizard down here, and don't worry if you miss him. I missed him in this little run. But you can come back, he'll be there again. So just kind of sprint and hold your shield through these guys, and I always like to switch to two-handed whenever I'm trying to kill those crystal lizards, and just do your strongest attack, and that'll prevent them from burrowing. So, just get to the end of the cave. Go up the ladder. And I believe there's some more souls up here. Definitely gonna drop through some more graves. One of these, there's like a hole around here somewhere. And so one of these things. Eventually I'm gonna walk into it. Now I'm doing this post gameplay, so there it is. And this gets you back to the second switch. So if you wanted to take that way, you could. You know, it's up to you. I just prefer the other way. I feel like it's a little quicker and more direct. I mean, there's less skeletons to deal with if you go that route that I just took. Actually, hold on, no, it's not even a shortcut at all. It just gets you back to the same place. So disregard everything I just said for the past 30 seconds. Because this is the bridge that you cross to go to that shortcut. And don't press the switch, because you're just going to bring those spikes back out. I realized it half a second late. So this is where we just were before we took the shortcut, right up here by the bridge. And if you go across the bridge to your, and then go to your right once you're in this doorway, that's where we dropped down a second ago. So it just loops back. So don't worry about it. And now we're gonna get the ring that you need for the Darkmoon. Is it the Darkmoon Wraith Covenant? The one that we did in the Painted World earlier. So if you're following the walkthrough, you actually couldn't go and kill, what's his face? I think it's Gwendolyn. Dark Sunlord Gwendolyn. Can't remember his exact name. So you couldn't have got to him yet, which is no big deal. You don't have to do that just yet. You don't even have to do it, period, actually. It's just completely optional. But to join the Covenant and get the achievement, you'll need to, I think there's 2 achievements, actually. I think you get an achievement for killing him and for going down there and joining the Covenant. Or just finding the Covenant, actually. So, after I get done messing around with these skeletons, I'll go down there to show you. Sometimes you just gotta kill them because they've killed you so many times. You just need vengeance. It's good to get some vengeance. Builds morale. It's like these guys just never stop. They just never stop. You'll learn to hate this area. I've been in here. I don't even know why I'm bothering to fight these guys still. Just sometimes, like I said, you need to kill them. They've just pissed you off so much. You just gotta let it out. If you get the fire keepers, sometimes you just want to. Now, if you kill everything, I mean, you can. You won't die as much, probably. But it's gonna take you a lot longer to get through this area. Dealing with all these skeletons. You could run and jump out there if you're crazy. We haven't hit the switch yet, so it would absolutely be suicide. But you could run and jump out there. So, Patches, he flips the switch over here. He's a jerk. And if you play Demon Souls, you know Patches. He kicks you in holes. And he does it in this game too. So you come up here and you talk to him about flipping switches. You look reasonably sane. So he's gonna ask you. Sorry. Oh yeah, about trinkets stuff. So you say whatever you want. Once you go back out to the bridge, you're gonna you might talk to him as much as you want. He eventually stops giving you new responses. And if you leave him there, he's absolutely going to flip that switch again and kill you. So you have the option now to either kill him and lose him later in the game, and he sells some good stuff. Or you run across this bridge, die. I mean, you might have been able to make it if that skeleton didn't drop on top. So I mean, you run the risk of dying. And you can come back, and you can talk to him, and he'll say, "Oh, well, sorry." And I'm not sure if he hits it again because I accidentally attacked him because some skeleton followed me up there. So I think you can just run across, and I'm not sure if you talk to him if it changes whether or not he hits the switch again. But anyways, if you let him live, you'll see him in the Tomb of the Giants in the next area. And he'll kick you in a hole down there. So you really can't ever trust patches. But if you kill him, like I said, you lose him forever. But here's the fastest way to get back there. I'm just going to skip all the skeletons. And you can get to patches in a matter of just like 30 seconds or so. And once you hit the switch, you can really breeze through this area. So I think after you lift the fog, if you don't kill him and he stays there, he doesn't hit the switch anymore, and you can drop down to that bridge from the very beginning. So go up here, talk to him. He's gonna say, "Oh, I didn't mean to cause you any harm," and then you accidentally attack him, like I did. Really sorry. See, this guy came up here, and I didn't mean to attack him, but, you know. I didn't really feel all that bad, because he's a dick. So I kill him. Not a big problem for me, since I've already... Oh. I've already seen both what's it called? Results of killing or not killing patches. So you get back to him. If he killed you, just get over here and drop some Homing Crystal Soul Mass on him. Now you could repost his attack. It's a fairly slow attack, and those are easier to repost. But I just don't do that. I feel like that's too risky. Too risky. So you get some humanity and the Crescent Axe from him. And then you can come over here and push the switch in, so you don't have to worry about him flipping this thing anymore. And then we're going to the bottom area. Now, there is a ton of stuff in this area. I'm realizing that as I'm going through this walkthrough. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I was talking about the Darkmoon Seance ring, Senos ring, something like that. Darkmoon ring, we'll just call it that for short. This is where that's at. There's a wall you can break down right in here. Here it is. It looks like crap because you can break it down. If you're playing online, almost certainly someone will have a message there letting you know. You just drop down here, and I would just run to the end because there's going to be a lot of stuff chasing you. Oh, you got archers, and then one of these big skeletons is going to come out. Expected death right here. So once you get the ring, you're probably dead. You can try to run through this. It's probably not going to work. I felt like I was doing pretty good here. But then the archer started hitting me, and I couldn't find the ladder, and that big skeleton caught up. Yeah, not good. So we'll just go ahead and get back to that spot. But now I'll show you the shortcut. I know I said before I'd skip back to spots where I died and stuff. But this will actually show you the shortcut. And we like shortcuts, don't we? This makes this area much more tolerable once you hit all three of these switches. See right here? That bridge below used to have spikes. Don't worry about it anymore. You don't even lose health dropping down here. And you're already back to where you just died a second ago, where I died. You may have been masterful and made it out of there very craftily, but I did not. And that's it for that little section down there. Now, up here, we're going to find another covenant, which is Gravelord Covenant, and you're going to walk inside this tomb up here. You can actually make that running jump, not from that side, but from the other side. So once you're in here, there's one of those statue Triton guys. You're not going to fight him just yet. I'm going to go in here and sleep in one of these tombs. Just keep walking up to the tombs if you're having trouble finding it. You'll eventually find one that actually says nestle in coffin. And once you do that, you literally have to sit there for 30 seconds. So don't get frustrated and say, oh, it's not working. Just keep sitting there. Like I said, 30 seconds. That's about what it takes. And here you go. Here's the Gravelord Covenant. Now once you find these covenants, you can actually warp back to them. So you don't have to, if you want to come back to this area for whatever reason, you can just warp down there if you don't want to be at the Firelink Shrine. So then we have one of the Triton guys. I know he's not actually wielding a Triton, but I just think of him as something out of The Little Mermaid, but he's made of stone. Now, these guys have some pretty strong attacks, but they're really slow, and their attacks are pretty easy to dodge. They just cover a massive amount of area. You saw how much health I just lost from... Ooh, that was close. From that one swing. I just try to keep my distance in homing Crystal Soul Mass. These fools. If you're melee, this could be pretty tough. Just because he does those jumping attacks, and his swipe attack, there's really no way to avoid it because it covers such a large area and you can't roll sideways to avoid it. It's like a sideways wide attack. It can't be dodged, you just have to block it. Now killing him, there's really nothing very useful back here. You got cracked eye orbs or Eye of Death. That's for one of the covenants. Maybe it's the Gravelord one since it's right there. I can't remember off the top of my head. You need it for one of the covenants to earn more respect with them. So I don't remember what it yields by giving them a certain amount of things, but say like the Sunlight Covenant or Faith Covenant, I can't remember what that one's called either, but if you have enough Sunlight medals, which you get from helping other players, or you can just find them in the world sometimes, you get more faith spells after a certain amount. So to get down here, you saw that we did this earlier when we dropped down with, no not with, but to get to the blacksmith. This is the other way of getting down here, and there's a couple souls along the way, but you get some useless armor. Now, you can run, just drop down here and try to deal with this. This is not the recommended way, because you see all these pinwheels and you're going to have to run diagonal a lot to avoid them. And they break your shield really quick. But if you want to get to the last bit of items in this area, you have to go in here, and here's the last Firekeeper guy. And there's also a Black Knight at the end of the tunnel who's about to just get me real good. And I didn't even kill the Firekeeper, so that was terrible. But if you want to make this area a little bit easier, you can actually sit on the edge down here and just throw fireballs and cast your spells, or if you have a bow and arrow, you can just start shooting the pinwheel guys, because they just run up to this edge and sit here. So you can do your damage that way, and that way you don't have to potentially die every time you fall down here. But if you're just trying to get to the boss, you really don't even have to do this, because the majority of the pinwheels are on the left, and you only get one or two following you if you run to the right, and the right is where the boss is. The fog's over there. So just depending on what you're trying to do right here, you may or may not want to even attack these things. But since we're going left, like I said, this is why I'm trying to clear out some, just because I don't want to die immediately by dropping down here. I go ahead and cast a homing Crystal Soul Mass just to potentially take one of them out of the way. So I killed, what, like 2 or 3, and there's still like 5 or 6 more. Just try to get over here as quick as possible and take out your Firekeeper. And Crystal Soul Spear works wonderfully for that. So he's dead. The pinwheels are stuck in the corner. I don't even know if they can make it through there. I'm sure that there's some way, but you get lucky sometimes. I would not try to take on those pinwheels out there in the open. There's just too many. And that skull thing will help kill him. And then you gotta watch out for the Black Knight. This guy's serious. Oof, look how much health I just lost. Feeling too close again? Man, making mistakes. Things are looking bleak. Skeleton and Black Knight here. And then I'm going back out here, which is dangerous because you don't know if there's more pinwheels. This is just hoping right here that no more pinwheels come behind me. Still one more skeleton. So back, once you kill off all these things, there's still more up ahead. Still more crystals, but no more skeletons. This is the end of the skeletons. Well, skeletons for this area. I should be more specific because there's definitely a lot more and terrible skeletons in the Tomb of the Giants, which is the following area. But, you know, it's always a relief. Oh, look at these guys. Yeah, you can punch them and kick them off here, and that's pretty cool. I always like that. Kicking them on the ladder, making them fall. Doesn't do much damage, but it's fun. So, still a couple more skeletons up here. I lied. I said that was the end of the skeletons. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So both of these things collapse down there, but you see one side has a soul on it, the other doesn't. You want to go on the side with the soul. Actually, I think they go to the same spot. So, it really doesn't matter. But, I don't know if that's actually true. So, pretend like it does matter. That would be a better idea. And go. Yeah, they're definitely the same spot. So now you can pretend like it doesn't matter. And that is all of the stuff in this area. That's everything. I know I don't always get everything because I don't remember everything, but I do remember this area quite well because I died so many times here. And now we're going to the boss, and luckily after this painful area and just fighting the hardest boss in the game, this may be the easiest boss. So easy. If you have homing crystal soul mass, or homing soul mass for that matter, it's seriously like 2 or 3 shots, and he's dead. I mean, of course it depends on your magic level, but he's really easy. And I think he's really easy because he multiplies himself, which you'll see in a second. And if you're hitting the wrong one, it does no damage, but it's really easy to tell which one's right. And here you see that I didn't have any Estus left, but it's okay because this guy's so easy that I'm actually just so confident I'm going to use my humanity to heal myself, which you may or may not have known. Humanity actually heals you full health. Well, yeah, full health. I just fell, so you take falling damage dropping in here. See, that's the wrong one. That's also the wrong one. Here's the right one. See, one hit took almost a third of his life. And I've never had to fight him with physical attacks. I've used a faith build, and he dies just as quickly. So I'm assuming all attacks are really strong against him, and he doesn't really have a very strong up-close game. He just shoots magic and runs away. So that's it for this area. I know it was excruciatingly painful, but you got through it. And you got the Rite of Kindling, so now you can make your bonfires go up to plus 15. But that's it for this area, guys. Next is the Tomb of Giants. And the Tomb of Giants is almost as terrible. Maybe even worse. Probably worse. Until next time, guys. Later.